Hi, thank you so much for joining me today for Ellie's Sunday. And this is a series that I do with my lovely friend Scrappy Adam, where each Sunday we choose a Ellie Studio product to focus on. And today's focus is going to be shape stickers from Ellie Studio. So to go with this, I've pulled out the remnant pieces from the Spectrum Sherbet 49 Spectrum Sherbet from 49 and Market. I love these bright colours, and they're going to go really nicely with the floats that are in the photo. This was Macmillan Pier in Provincetown when we went back in 2015. It was a very wet and windy day, but the floats looked absolutely gorgeous in this bench that had been made to put on the pier. So I'm just messing around with these remnant pieces, and you can see I've pulled out the orange, blue, yellow and green, and they're the colours of the floats in that bottom photo there on the left hand side. I've actually got three photos here: a picture on the right, which is just of the sign of Macmillan Pier, a picture of the pier itself at the top with all the huts on, and then this picture of this lovely bench. So just having a fiddle around to see what's going to work. These are going to be my photo mat before trimming off and sticking them down. So I'll have the two photos on the left, as you can see here, and then that photo on the right hand side as well. So I'm happy with the placement. So here I am starting to glue things down, and you can see I've taken these remnants off the page because I want to trim some bits off to use in that cluster on the right hand side as well. So just slowly working through, making sure that I'm happy with the positioning, and then I shall glue everything down. I am going to be doing mixed media again. I've stayed away from that a little bit recently in videos just to try and provide some variety, but I do love adding mixed media to my background, so it's going to happen today. So here I am just starting to trim off the bits that I don't need, and then I shall continue gluing everything down. And the only frustration for me in these remnant pieces is that they're all the same direction. So all those tabs are on the right hand side there. So when I try and layer them up, they all look very neat, and it's not the look that I enjoy. I definitely prefer to be able to rotate things around, and because they're single-sided, it's not like you can use the reverse to flip that to the other side. But anyway, it works out nicely in the end. That's just me being super fussy. So trimming everything down, and again, I don't like everything to be flush on the side, so you'll see this green piece, I do end up leaving it overlapping slightly on the left hand side. So just using my hand to try and work out whether it'll work cut off at that point. And you can see I overlap different steps at the sides, so that blue one's slightly in from the yellow one underneath it. And that's what I like to create, loads of different variety on the page to draw your eye around it. So you can see this green one, like I say, I'm just offsetting it slightly so that it hangs over on the left. And of course that provides me with a problem that I would have a white cardstock gap, but I do fill that in. First of all, using this tiny piece of orange, and that works really nicely along the side here. And it's all about adding layers. So now I've finished, just about finished with that section, I'm going to move on to the right hand side. At first I thought I was going to use this frame, but I'm not happy with it in the end, so I do take that off. And as you can see, a lot of these are just offcuts. Well, all of them in fact are offcuts. Some from the cluster that I've created on the left hand side, and some I had in my box. So just moving things around, trying to work out what to do. At first I feel that everything's too vertical. I want some horizontal pieces as well, so just having a play, see how I can make that work. And it's at this point I realise I think that, yeah, I'm not going to use that frame. I want more solid blocks. I think when you're using primary colours like this, the solid blocks work better. I know green's not a primary, but it's still a nice bright colour. So you can see I tore that orange piece so that I could use the piece at the top and the piece at the bottom as well. So now just starting to glue everything together again, and this will be glued into a mat just so that I can move these out of the way and add my mixed media before gluing it down to the main base page. So just working my way around, carefully gluing everything down, trying to make sure that the balance is there. It's always a struggle, trying to make sure everything's straight, which I'm not the best at. But you slowly get there. And also try not to glue it down to the base page, which I have done in the past. But I like to have that there so that I can see how this will look on the final page. I'm definitely a visual person. I think if I tried to do this on a cutting mat, it just wouldn't work for me. I did have the sense to move that out the way though, because I knew that there was a gap behind the photo and I put glue all over the photo. So again, just trying to make sure that it's straight there. And when I finished building this mat, I realised that I definitely want something else on the background, as well as the mixed media. I need to bring something else in. And I mentioned in a previous video, if you've been watching my videos, that I want to try and make more use of my washi tapes. So I pulled some out that I thought would work nicely with these pictures, just some golds and blacks. And so I had a nice big strip down the back of this mat here. And then I want to bring in some of the black as well. So I find the skinny black with gold stars. There it is. And just draw that down as well. And I just make this strip ever so slightly shorter than the gold one. Again, just to add that variety in the levels on the page. And I'm really happy with the way that looks. So now turning my attention to the left, I try pull out one of the blues, but I definitely want to stick to black and white. So I find this striped tape, and this works really nicely. So just butting it right alongside the edge of the page and probably covering 7/8 of the page from top to bottom, just leaving a small gap at the top and bottom. And look at how nicely that works. It just fills in that gap to the left-hand side of the orange paper there. So very happy with that. So these are the Elle Studio shape stickers that I'm pulling out today. She's famous for her hearts and stars, particularly the heart shape that she uses. So I've pulled out some of the chipboard ones in the cool colours and also some puffy ones, which you'll see shortly. But first of all, I want to focus on my mixed media. So this is Shimmer's Sunflower, and I haven't drawn any pencil lines. I'm just using the photo mat as my guide and keep holding that over and just checking that the mixed media is going in the right place. And I just want this as a small halo around the edge of the papers. So adding some water to water it down and to get those different colours and mottled texture that you get with the shimmers. And you can see it just peeks out ever so slightly. So adding some more water and splatters. It's a very intense colour in the jar, so you can keep watering it down and watering it down to get different colours. It works beautifully. And now on the right hand side, I'm going to go in with the blue, and that one is called, let me find it, Oaky Bear Blue. And that works really nicely with these darker tealy blues that we've got here. So I just go into the pot once, I think, actually at the beginning, and then keep adding water and smearing this all the way around, and it creates a beautiful watercolour effect with that shimmer that you get from shimmers without any glitter pieces. It's just lovely and shimmery. See how I just keep dipping in the water and dragging the colour around. And there, I've just gone into the pot again there at that point. You can use what's on your brush for such a long time. That's why these paints last forever. So now just going back in the pot to add some splatters. And that's pretty much it. Just intensifying the colour in parts with what's left on my brush. And then I should move it up to the side to dry. And now that's dry, I can come back in and stick down these photo mats. And I really love how that's turned out. So just using my wet glue as per usual, covering the back and then sticking that down. The card is slightly warped, but as it dries out and it's in the album, it will flatten out. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just getting this adhered down in the first instance. So sticking that left-hand mat down first of all, and then I should move on to the right-hand one. Exactly the same principle, just loads of wet glue. Make sure it's stuck down properly. And then I can start embellishing with these Elle Studio stickers. So as I say, those ones that you can see in the picture now on the right-hand side are the chipboard cool hearts and stars, because they're all the cool tone ones. So I'm going to focus on the blues from that pack. And then this is the Puffy Stars. And I'm going to focus on the yellows, greens and oranges in this pack, and some of the blacks as well. So just going around and scattering hearts and stars around the photo mats, and then I'll put some slightly more towards the middle between the two photo clusters, just to join the two together and bridge that gap ever so slightly. Not so that it's obvious, you'll see what I mean as I add them. So just moving around, adding different sizes, different colours, different textures, sometimes the chipboard and sometimes the puffy. And I've stuck with stars on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side I've got stars at the top and to the side, and then hearts at the bottom. So you can see there's still quite a big gap there at the moment between the two photo clusters. So I want to add a tab punch to the right hand side of that right photo, just so that I can add my date there. And that also brings the two clusters slightly closer together. It's just stretching that one out towards the left hand side. And that's just, again, a scrap of paper from one of the remnants. I'm really trying to make a conscious effort to use these collections up now. They've been hanging around for a little while. And it's hard, isn't it? Something new comes along and you think, oh, shiny new things. But I do like to try and complete things where possible. So adding my date stamp there, it was the 11th of November 2015. And then coming back in with these stickers again, just to bridge that gap. So a bit more at the top. And then I'll add 2 stars underneath that orange tab on the left hand side, and then 2 underneath the blue tab on the right hand side. First of all, I'm adding my title. So I've pulled out the Florence stickers again. I've used these in previous videos and I'm absolutely loving them at the moment. So I'm just spelling out the name of the place that we're at, which is Provincetown. And then I just handwrite underneath that, Macmillan Pier on a rainy day. So I really hope you're enjoying my videos. I'm still loving creating them for you all. I'm putting them out on a Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday at the moment, but I'll see how my schedule is in the new year, whether I can increase that. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It helps me so much. It gets my videos out more, the more subscribers and the more likes that I get on my videos. So thank you. And I shall see you again on Tuesday for my next video. Thanks so much. Bye.